The following is a production of Florida State University's Office of University Communications. Coming up on FSU Headlines, Florida State University selects its next president. Making new discoveries, Florida State undergrads showcase their research. And celebrating sustainability. 10 years of Garnet and Gold goes green. Stay tuned for these stories and much, much more. FSU Headlines starts now. Hello and welcome to another edition of FSU Headlines. I'm Dennis Schnitker. Our top headline this month, the Florida State University Board of Trustees selects the university's next president. Pending approval by the Florida Board of Governors, State Senator and FSU alumnus John Thrasher will become the 15th president of Florida State University. FSU Headlines reporter Mark Vaughn has more.
During its September meeting, the Florida State University Board of Trustees selected State Senator and FSU alumnus John Thrasher as the 15th president of Florida State University.
It's an incredible thrill, obviously, to come back and have the opportunity to serve my university that I spent so many years here and love so much, and to have that opportunity is just an incredible thrill of a lifetime. And Gene and I are both looking forward to serving our community, serving this great university, and certainly helping Florida State University.
As an alumnus of Florida State, Thrasher says he has a deep connection to the university, and he credits Florida State as the foundation for his successful career.
You know, I have a bachelor's degree from Florida State University in business, and I have a law degree. Both of those gave me an incredible opportunity in my life to serve publicly, to serve privately, to serve our country, to serve our state. And I know I would not be here today if it was not for those opportunities. I was the first person in my family not only to graduate from high school, but to graduate from college. I take that very seriously, and I want every person who comes here to have that same opportunity and to leave here with a feeling that they had the best opportunity to achieve their career goals and their life goals. That's what Florida State University ought to be about in respect to getting us into the top 25. Which we all know is a big, big task.
Thrasher says he has several goals for his first 100 days in office.
First 100 days, though, probably are 3 or 4 things that we need to accomplish. One is we need to make sure that we have a great organization behind our fundraising and capital campaign. I'm going to be meeting with different organizations, different folks about that, making sure that we have the right people in place, and then I devote the necessary time to that. It's a time-consuming thing, but I believe it's important for us to make sure we're successful in that regard. Faculty salaries, I studied that during the course of this, and I believe we've got a real problem there in terms of a differential between some of our salaried professors and assistant and associate professors. There are a couple of studies out there. I want to try to look at those very quickly and begin to do some things to implement some help in that area. I think the Title IX issue is something that came up a lot, and we're going to take a look at that, make sure that we have the right procedures in place, making sure that this university is a safe place to send any of our friends' children, and I think we would all want that.
John Thrasher has served as Speaker of the Florida House of Representatives and as a state senator. From 2001 to 2005, he was the first chair of Florida State University's Board of Trustees. In 2002, he was a key supporter of legislation that brought funding to the development of FSU's College of Medicine, and a building there is named in his honor. His success as a leader, businessman, and lobbyist has helped him to develop strong ties within the community, and he hopes to use his years of experience to take Florida State University into the top 25 public universities in the nation.
And there are many things that we need to do, though, to complete that task, and it's going to take several years to do it, but I believe we can get there. It obviously involves a lot of funding. It involves our community coming together, the boosters, the alumni, the students, the faculty, all of those things, and I think it's a challenge, but certainly I believe we can get there. I look forward to working with our friends in the legislature to make sure that they understand the importance of Florida State University being in the top 25. And I think after we've had a chance to hit the ground running, we'll get there. I really believe that over a period of time.
And of course, his family is also part of this transition into the president's office. John and his wife Jean have 3 children and 8 grandkids. For FSU Headlines, I'm Mark Vaughn.
And the Florida Board of Governors must approve Mr. Thrasher's appointment before he takes office. In other headlines on campus, Florida State University students say no more sexual violence and urge their fellow students to know more about its causes and how to prevent it.
So you can sign up for those if you want to get involved more.
This fall, Florida State staff and students are educating the campus community about the issue. The No More Awareness campaign outlines the meaning of consent and responsible conduct. Florida State has implemented other key initiatives to help prevent sexual violence on campus. A new website is a one-stop destination of resources for victims and other students about reporting and preventing sexual violence. The university is also hiring a full-time director to coordinate all the university's Title IX efforts.
I'm really pleased that we're launching this. I think we'll get national attention for our No More campaign, a great tagline from my perspective, because it reflects the two things, that we all need to know more, but we don't know more. No more sexual assault, no more sexual violence. So it's really perfect.
The initiatives stem from the work of the Sexual Violence Prevention Task Force. For more information about Florida State's awareness campaign, visit nomore.fsu.edu. Florida State University is a preeminent research university preparing the next generation of researchers. As part of the Summer Research Award experience, a select group of undergraduate students are able to complete research projects at Florida State under the supervision of their professors. From assisting with research in the lab to developing creative projects in disciplines like history and art, undergraduates at Florida State learn essential skills to become leading researchers themselves. The program propels the undergraduates years ahead of many of their peers and highlights Florida State's commitment to developing students as scholars and innovators.
What makes education, undergraduate education at a research university distinct? Well, one reason is that the students can come here even as a freshman and work in partnership with our wonderful faculty from in all disciplines, in creative arts and social sciences and physics and chemistry and the hard sciences, and engage in cutting-edge research. And that helps the student learn tremendously, and it's a really effective pedagogy, helps them learn outside of the discussions and lectures that we're used to in classrooms. And it makes us distinctive in the higher education community, and it helps attract the best students in the country to Florida State University.
And the students recently displayed their summer research projects for faculty and students at the President's Showcase of Undergraduate Research Excellence. Florida State University is one of two institutions in the country offering intensive business training, not just to injured military veterans, but to veterans' family members as well. FSU Headlines' Kate Mueller joins us now with more on this story. Kate?
Thanks, Dennis. The Entrepreneurship Boot Camp for veterans' families is designed to help them start a new business or take their current business to the next level. More than a dozen individuals from across the country visit Tallahassee to learn how they can become entrepreneurs. The special group of military families who have a family member who is injured or died during their service make their way to Florida State University for an intense week of classes, workshops, and breakout sessions with industry professionals. Florida State University's Jim Moran Institute for Global Entrepreneurship hosts this fast-paced business course that gives these students the skills they'll need to be successful.
I had to think about where I was going to be in the next 5 to 10 years. After being a stay-at-home mom for 7 years, getting back into the workforce was difficult. So I decided to start my own company, which I have one. I want to start another one, which is an exporting business. There's a lot that goes into it, and this was where I found I could start and get the information I needed.
As military family members, these students have similar experiences that creates a natural networking opportunity.
It's nice. I've actually found a few other people that know other people that are into exporting or have their own warehouses. So hopefully when we're done with this, I'll be able to contact them, get their information. I find that the best information is learning from someone else's mistakes, so I don't make the same ones. Or I can teach someone else from my mistakes, and hopefully they won't make the same mistake.
Florida State and Syracuse are the only two universities to host the EBV Families Program. Dennis, back to you.
Okay, thanks for that, Kate. Well, coming up next on FSU Headlines, it's time to celebrate 10 years of Going Green.
We go around and encourage the fans that are there to recycle their beverage containers. Just go around and collect stuff and pass out other bags and talk to people about recycling and really encourage them to be responsible on game day.
We'll show you how a small recycling initiative has grown into a campus-wide sustainability program when FSU Headlines continues in a moment.
A spirit roams these parts. A spirit of respect, competition, and academic greatness. Some call our spirit myth. Others call it legend. We call it Florida State University.
When you purchase a Florida State University license plate, you're supporting students, like me. Tag, you're in.
Welcome back to FSU Headlines. I'm Dennis Schnitker. Florida State University is celebrating a milestone for its campus-wide sustainability program. The Garnet and Gold Goes Green initiative turns 10 this year, and FSU Headlines reporter Molly Reed joins us now to tell us all about the anniversary. Molly?
Thanks, Dennis. Well, they say that the traditional gift for a 10th year anniversary is aluminum. And what a perfect fit as Florida State University celebrates 10 years of their Garnet and Gold Goes Green recycling program. The recycling program kicks off every game day at Doak Campbell Stadium, where volunteers collect recyclable materials such as, you guessed it, aluminum cans, bottles, and paper.
We meet up at the stadium about 2.5 hours before the game. We go around and encourage the fans that are there to recycle their beverage containers. Just go around and collect stuff and pass out other bags and talk to people about recycling and really encourage them to be responsible on game day.
Over the past 10 years, Garnet and Gold Goes Green has collected more than 145 tons of recyclable materials on game days, and more than 1,000 volunteers have logged well over 3,800 service hours.
Games bring national notoriety to Florida State. We want to make sure that what you're seeing on TV is green and clean and beautiful, and that we're proud of our university and what we're doing.
The growth and popularity of Garnet and Gold Goes Green has helped grow the university's sustainability program, which now includes Chuck It for Charity student move-out program, the Recycle Bike Sharing program, the Take Back the Tap reusable water program, and the new food recovery program. Well, that's going to do it from Doak Campbell Stadium. Back to you, Dennis.
All right, thanks for that report, Molly. Dancing for a great cause at Florida State University leads to a big check for Florida State University's College of Medicine. FSU Headlines' Nadia Carone joins us now with more. Nadia?
Hey Dennis, after another great dance marathon at Florida State, the group donated $380,000 to Florida State's College of Medicine.
It's alive, it's popping blood.
The donation is part of a record $781,000 raised in 2014 by Dance Marathon at Florida State. More than 1,800 students danced for 40 hours to raise money and awareness for local charities. The FSU College of Medicine is using part of the proceeds from this year's event to pay for a school-based health program in Gadsden County and to purchase equipment for the pediatrics unit at Tallahassee Memorial Hospital.
We were thinking that in the midst of the recession and everything we've been experiencing in the last 4 years, that it couldn't possibly keep going up. And what we've found is that it keeps going up, that each year they bring in more money than the year before. They work that much harder for it. The challenges that the executive board have are legion, but they seem to be able to keep topping their own previous set goals, and we're just so proud of what they're able to do.
FSU, we have so many titles, but I think it's really important that we show the world that we also give back, and that college students can break that mold and they can give a weekend of their time and fundraise money for kids that they might never meet, because we are so lucky to go to this university. We're lucky to have the lives that we live, and I think it's important that we take that opportunity to give back.
During the past 19 years, Dance Marathon at FSU has raised more than $5 million for charity. Dennis, back to you.
Over a career spanning 2 decades, Florida State music therapy professor Jane Stanley has been instrumental in finding ways to help premature babies develop. Stanley saw a specific need for a device that could help infants learn how to feed. That's where music and her ingenuity met to create the pacifier-activated lullaby device. The PAL device plays music for an infant when the baby successfully sucks on the pacifier. The soft lullaby gives positive reinforcement and has been shown to improve feeding and self-soothing skills, which can lead to an earlier discharge from the hospital.
I was thinking about how difficult it would be to teach a baby that's still premature how to suck, because it all happens inside the mouth and you can't explain it to the baby and get them to be cooperative. And I knew that we had done a research study where babies actually had changed their foot position to be able to listen to music. So I wondered if you could use the same principle with premature babies to teach sucking. And that's what we tried, and it was magically wonderful and amazing that the babies were so delighted to get music that they would suck, and that transferred to feeding skill. They learned to feed very quickly and left the hospital a week to 10 days sooner because they had learned to feed so quickly.
The PAL device is FDA approved and being used in hospitals around the world. Her success has led to an international recognition. Stanley is the first researcher to earn the Global Award of Music Therapy from the World Federation of Music Therapy.
It's been totally overwhelming. It's amazing. So I feel extremely good about that, and it simply makes me excited. What is the next thing that we could possibly do?
And Stanley is already working on her next big thing. She's working with her music students to record lullabies for the PAL device in several different languages. This past September marked the 13th anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attacks, and the Florida State University community gathered to commemorate those who lost their lives on that tragic day and those who fought to keep our country safe ever since.
It's a great honor of mine to welcome each of you to the 4th annual Leon County Day of Remembrance and Service, the 13th anniversary of the attacks on 9/11. On this day of remembrance and reflection, we join millions of people across the country and around the world in taking a pause to honor those who lost their lives on September 11th. Our first responders, our men and women of the U.S. military, and everyday Americans just like you and me who lost their lives on that fateful day.
Will our veterans, our service members, and first responders please rise, and let's give them a round of applause and show our appreciation.
So today we are out here in conjunction with Young Americans for Freedom organization. We come out to a common area and we set up the memorial, and the events kind of start all around the same time, around 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. A person can go and pick up a flag, and whether or not they knew someone, they can go set it down in remembrance of the lives that were lost. And if you kind of a private memorial to yourself, people see the slips so they know someone has stopped by to remember a life that was lost on that day. We've had several people who have come by with very emotional experiences, remembering those loved ones, personal friends, family members who were lost on that day, and they come to show their respects. We are out here all day to make sure people never forget the lives that were lost on that day, and to always keep those, keep memories of those people who were lost in their hearts.
Well, coming up next on FSU Headlines, Florida State football and soccer teams are off to hot starts this season.
Another great win. Continue to play better. Again, like I say, we're a work in progress. We've got to continue to grow in how we're playing, but we just keep getting better.
We'll see how both football teams are handling conference play when FSU Headlines continues in a moment. Hello and welcome back to FSU Headlines. I'm Dennis Schnitker. The Florida State football team got off to a solid start this season, but how tough does the schedule get now that Seminole football is in the heart of its ACC schedule? FSU Headlines reporter Mark Vaughn joins us now to let us know. Mark?
Thanks, Dennis. The Florida State football team is on a mission to defend that 2013 national championship, but in order to do that, they'll have to navigate through a very tough ACC schedule. In the first year of the college football playoff, the Seminoles have remained ranked #1 throughout the season. They're now heading into the heart of their ACC schedule with games against Wake Forest, Louisville, and a de facto ACC game against Notre Dame, who's ranked in the top 10. And they'll look to this new group of running backs and receivers to step up even more and hit their stride as this ACC schedule toughens.
Just play week by week, get better, try to fix your problems and move on. I mean, that's what we got to do. We still have a lot of issues that we got to get better at, and as a football team, but we're plugging along.
Okay, so now to the other football team at Florida State, the women's soccer team. They're off to an incredible start to the season, just a year removed from a national runner-up finish. The soccer team jumped out to a top 5 ranking as they rolled through the early part of their schedule, and now they're looking to make another run at the ACC title and national championship. The Seminoles will continue to rely on that experience they gained in 2013, with several seniors taking the lead this year. And the month of October is a big one, with games against Syracuse, Virginia Tech, and North Carolina all on the schedule. And remember, to keep up with Florida State football and soccer and all Florida State athletics, you can visit Seminoles.com. That's going to do it from Doak Campbell Stadium. Back to you, Dennis.
All right, thank you, Mark. Florida State University is working to become the most veteran-friendly campus in the country, and we want to share our student veteran stories. So, meet U.S. veteran Robert Mills.
My name is Robert Mills, and I'm a student veteran at Florida State University. I joined the Army in 2003 because I wanted to serve my country and pay for college. I eventually became an Army Ranger and did 4 combat rotations, 3 to Iraq, 1 to Afghanistan. On those deployments, I was involved in direct action raids, search and rescue operations, and I was a machine gun team leader. I deployed in 2010 to Kuwait for the Florida National Guard as part of a peacekeeping operation where I was a sniper section sergeant. But after a couple years, I started reevaluating my goals. I wanted to finish my education. Nobody in my family had graduated college with a 4-year degree, so it's something that meant a lot to me. I decided to leave active duty. After completing my associate's degree at community college, I started looking for universities to attend. I wanted a university that was veteran-friendly, but also had a good criminology program. That's why I eventually chose Florida State University. Being a student veteran definitely has its fair share of challenges. It's difficult getting back in the routine of being a student when you've been away so many months, years, days in foreign countries and in different situations. Florida State made the transition very easy. Prior to the Veterans Initiative, if I had a class that conflicted with my National Guard training, some professors would tell me, hey, that's not my problem, you need to drop the class. Now in the last few years, more professors are understanding of students that still have military obligations. Florida State University really does care about its veterans. They set up an environment where they can succeed in school and in life.
And you can see other student veterans' digital stories and learn more about the student veteran initiatives at Florida State University by visiting veterans.fsu.edu. Well, you've probably seen or maybe even taken part in a viral video campaign that raised millions of dollars for the disease known as ALS. The Ice Bucket Challenge took over social media recently, leading to increased awareness and funding for ALS research. Well, several Florida State organizations took the challenge, including members of Florida State's administration and the Student Government Association. So, take a look.
I'm Garnet Stokes, interim president of Florida State University, and we are here today for the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. I have been challenged multiple times. I'll mention Abby Kinch, the Student Veterans Association. I've also been challenged by our mayor-elect of Tallahassee, Andrew Gillum. But biggest of all, we have been challenged by the students of Oklahoma State University.
And I'm FSU Student Body President Stefan Cavallero. I'm pretty sure it's pretty close to 100 degrees out here, so I think a little ice water would be nice.
I'm sure it's going to feel just great. You know, universities are places where diseases like ALS are really investigated and cures are found. And we strongly support that here at Florida State University in labs, inside labs, and outside of them. So I am going to do this Ice Bucket Challenge, as is Stefano, but I'm going to write a check to ALS Research. But I also want to tell you, I'm going to write a check, the first leadership gift for the United Way of the Big Bend, because our big faculty staff campaign is starting up in just 3 more weeks.
And we encourage you all to do the same. And now I'm going to send out an FSU Ice Bucket Challenge to our Tallahassee neighbors, Florida A&M University and Tallahassee Community College.
We can't wait to see that. And to the Oklahoma State Cowboys, we are going to see you on Saturday night. Go Noles! All right, toughen up. Go.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of FSU Headlines, but you can see more news from Florida State University anytime at Florida State 24/7. It's the official news website of Florida State University, and you can find it at news.fsu.edu. On behalf of everyone here at Florida State University, I'm Dennis Schnitker. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.